Hello guys, in today's video we're going to check out the best Xiaomi phones in 2020. I made this list based on my personal opinion and I tried to list them based on their price, quality, durability and more. To find out more information about these Xiaomi phones you can check out the description below, and also don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest technology reviews. Okay, so let's get started with the video. And at number 5, it's the Xiaomi Redmi Note 6 Pro. Xiaomi has done a great job when it comes to flagship phones over the last 5 years. The Redmi Note 6 Pro is a stunning looking phone with a great display, amazing specs and plenty of great features. I would recommend this smartphone to anyone who's looking for an affordable phone that has great specs. Xiaomi offers powerful hardware at a very reasonable price, and in my opinion this is a very great strategy. This Xiaomi phone is pretty similar to its predecessor, the Redmi Note 5 Pro. It has a vertical dual camera setup that doesn't let the phone rest flat when lying on any surface. That for some people might be a bit annoying, but in my opinion it's not, because I put my phone face down on any surface. It has a small notch at the top which doesn't look that bad. It has the power and volume buttons on the right side. You should know that the volume buttons need a bit of stretch to reach, but that's not a big deal. On top of the phone you'll find a secondary microphone, an IR emitter and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the left side of the phone it has only the hybrid dual SIM tray. Also at the bottom there's a micro USB port, which is a bit disappointing because other phones at this price range come with a USB Type-C port. The first thing that caught my eye was the 6.26-inch IPS LCD. This phone has a 1080 by 2280p resolution with an aspect ratio of 19:9, and the colours displayed on this phone are pretty sharp and bright. It's packed with a Qualcomm STM636 Snapdragon processor, and it has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Overall it's a pretty solid performer and it won't lag on everyday tasks. On the back it has two cameras, one 12MP and one 5MP. Together they can deliver some amazing photos with lots of detail. On the other side of the phone you'll see the dual selfie camera. It has a 20MP sensor and a 2MP sensor. You can take some great selfies with this one, and you can try plenty of modes too. It has a non-removable LiPo 4000 mAh battery, which means it can last you all day long without a problem. If you want one of the most affordable Xiaomi phones that has great specs, you should take a look at this beast. At number 4, it's the Xiaomi Mi 9T Pro. Moving on, we have the bezel-less phone that looks astonishing, the Mi 9T Pro. This one has a beautiful display, it doesn't have a single notch, and this makes the display more beautiful. Overall the design is pretty great and the performance is something that I cannot complain about. It has a pretty nice pop-up selfie camera and it has many more great features. The best thing about this phone is that it comes at a very reasonable price. This phone is an all-screen phone that comes with a high-quality AMOLED panel measuring 6.39 inches. Thanks to the pop-up selfie camera, it's unblemished, which results in a screen-to-body ratio of 91.9%. The first thing I noticed was the curved edges at the rear, which deliver an elegant design and make this phone more premium. Another interesting thing is that the rear button, which is located on the phone's right side, is red. That makes it easier to find and it looks pretty classy. The volume rocker buttons work pretty great. Around the chassis you'll also find a USB-C connector and a slot-loading SIM tray. It has a full HD resolution of 2340 by 1080 pixels. It can display vivid and nice colours. You should also know that this phone is packed with Snapdragon 855, which is a solid performer. If smartphone gaming is your thing, then you should check out this one. The Mi 9T Pro has an 8-layer graphite cooling system to help dissipate heat inside. It's packed with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. Also, the selfie camera is worth noticing too. The pop-up selfie camera has 20MP and can take some amazing selfies. It has a non-removable LiPo 4000 mAh battery which can last you up to 2 days, which is amazing. This phone has many more features that you should check out, and the best thing about it, in my opinion, is that it has a lot to offer for the price. It's definitely worth every penny. At number 3, it's the Xiaomi Mi 9. The Xiaomi Mi 9 is another amazing phone that has great features and it looks amazing. If you want one of the best looking Xiaomi phones, then you should definitely take a look at the Mi 9 because it has a pretty great design. It looks very minimalistic and simple, but in my opinion these characteristics make this phone a more classy and premium looking phone. First thing I noticed was the current all-glass design, which still manages to stand out amongst the competition. This phone measures 6.2 by 2.94 by 0.3 inches and it weighs just 0.38 pounds. The Xiaomi Mi 9 comes in lavender, blue or black. In my opinion, the black one is cooler because it gives the phone more of a classy look. On the bottom of this device you'll find a USB Type-C port, while on the right side you'll find the volume rocker and the power button. I should also mention that there's a Google Assistant button to the left. Overall, it's a very nice design to hold, and with this one you won't feel any discomfort for hours. It's packed with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor, which performs amazingly. This phone has 6GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage, which in my opinion is good enough. I forgot to mention that this phone is very durable too, thanks to the Corning Gorilla Glass 6 and the anti-oil and anti-fingerprint protective coating. It has a 6.39-inch AMOLED full-screen display with 2340 by 1080p resolution. On the rear it has 3 great cameras, a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel telephoto camera and a 16-megapixel ultra-wide lens. These cameras can do a pretty good job and help you take the shots that you were looking for. On the front it has a 20-megapixel camera that can take amazing selfies. It packs a non-removable LiPo 3300 mAh battery, which is not that good, but it can surely last all day long. Overall, this phone is an amazing phone by Xiaomi that has amazing specs and many great features, and the best thing about it is that it doesn't cost that much. At number 2, it's the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3. Another great Xiaomi phone is Mi Mix 3. This one has a very beautiful design, amazing overall performance and pretty solid build quality. It has an ultra light sensitive AI dual camera that can help you a lot during your photo sessions. It has many more great features, and the best thing is that it doesn't come at a very high price. I can say that this phone would be on top of our list, but the reason why it isn't is because it misses some key features. It's not waterproof and it doesn't have secure 3D face unlocking. Now, I can live without them, but in my opinion these features would be great. However, the shiny signature ceramic rear shimmers in the light. The best thing about this phone in my opinion is that this phone is so comfortable to hold. While it's a bit heavier than other high-end phones out there, it still feels amazing in the hands. The display of the Mi Mix 3 is great. It can display some bright and clear colours, even outdoors in direct sunlight. The best thing about this phone in my opinion is that it supports wireless charging and you don't have to buy a charging pad because it comes in the box. This phone is packed with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor and it surpasses flagship level performance. It comes with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. It can complete everyday tasks without a single problem. I should also mention that this phone does a great job when it comes to the cameras too. The rear dual shooters feature a 12-megapixel and a 12-megapixel combo, and they can take equally good shots. On the front it has a 24-megapixel and 2-megapixel cameras, which can take some pretty good selfies, and you get plenty of shooting modes too. Unfortunately, the Mi Mix 3 comes with a small 3200 mAh battery, but it can last a full day on a single charge. Also, like I said, this phone has support for key wireless fast charging, and what makes it better is that the Xiaomi has included a charging pad in the box. Overall, it's a pretty good phone with plenty of nice features that you should check out. And at number 1, it's the Xiaomi Mi Note 10. One of the best Xiaomi phones is the Xiaomi Mi Note 10. This one is a very premium looking phone. It has an amazing processor with lots of great features. The design is very classy and the build quality of this phone is pretty decent. Overall, it's a very great phone that has many great features, and the best thing is that it doesn't cost as much as other high-end phones. If you're into big phones that have amazing specs, then you should check out this one. It has a 6.47-inch 3D curved AMOLED display with a Corning Gorilla Glass on the front and the back, and that makes this phone very durable. However, I should mention that this phone is pretty thick and it feels very sturdy. It also is a little bit curved on the rear, and thanks to these curves, the phone feels very great in the hands. Around the edges you'll find a USB-C port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right edge there's the volume rocker and the power button. The display is amazing and it comes at 2340 by 1080p. The max brightness is pretty high on this one and the colours pop up nicely. It's equipped with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. It's a nice performer and you can also play plenty of games on this one without a single problem. Now when it comes to the camera, this phone has taken the smartphone camera business to a whole new level. It has a 108-megapixel ultra-high resolution camera, along with a 12-megapixel portrait camera, a 5-megapixel telephoto camera, a 20-megapixel ultra-wide angle camera, and also a 2-megapixel macro camera. You have plenty of modes which can give you amazing results, and also you get nice 4K recording and 1080p slow motion recording. On the front, it has a 32 megapixel front-facing camera which can deliver some pretty good selfies. It's packed with a massive 5260 mAh battery and it can last you for days. I can freely say that this is the best Xiaomi phone and it's one of the best Android phones in the market today. If you want one of the best, then you should definitely see what Xiaomi has to offer with a Mi Note 10.